Testing. Say hello.
1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Kristina. We're two best friends who met in college 12 years ago. I'm now a stay-at-home mom with 2 children, a preteen and a toddler.
And I'm a career mom with a toddler. We've been through a lot of life together, and we're here to tell you all the stuff we wish people would have told us. We are Millennial Moms. Hello, and welcome back to another very special episode of Millennial Momming. It's kind of bittersweet because my co-host is not feeling well, so we hope you get better soon, Elizabeth. But in the meantime, in between time, we have my amazing husband, Randy, as our guest host.
First of all, why you say we hope you get better? She hopes you get better. Well, I'm just kidding. I hope you get better. I'm messing.
Okay, so we have some questions here that you guys submitted.
The very first question, and I feel like we're being set up here. How did you meet? Do you want his version or do you want my version?
I mean, her version is her version. My version is the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Like, she'll deny it to the day she die, but you know, it's always.
Well, you go right ahead, and then I'll just correct.
I don't even start that story. Tequila. I can tell you that it is a story involving tequila. That I can tell you.
So we met at a bar, and I had gone out with a couple of my friends. It was my girlfriend and then her boyfriend. And I told my girl, I was like, yo, tonight I'm going to find a New Year's Eve date. That was my mission. So we go to this bar. It is crazy packed for a Thursday night. I had never been to this bar before.
You've never been to there?
I had never been there.
Huh, I did not know that. Learn something new every day.
And, we went on and Googled, like, poppin' places on a Thursday night. So we ended up at that bar, and it is packed. Wall-to-wall people, shoulder to shoulder. My friends are making out in the corner. I'm just getting lit like a Christmas tree. So picture this, you guys. I'm standing at a bar waiting to order a drink. I'm bopping to the music. I'm having the time of my life by myself because I'm drunk. And all of a sudden, I plow into the person next to me, and I am mortified because when I say plow, I mean like kaplow.
Now, to this day, here's where the debate comes in, ladies and gentlemen. To this day, she swears that it was an accident.
It was an accident.
That she put that double ham hock behind that she got, which is a nice behind, on me. So that's her version. Now, I'm gonna tell you my version. Mine's short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, it's because it's lies. It's filled with lies.
It is. Don't you tell the world that I be lying. I don't be lying. I tell it like it is. So I was actually on the opposite side starting out. Me and a buddy was drinking, taking shots, hanging out, yada yada. You know, dude stuff, right? Dude stuff. Everybody know about dude stuff.
Boys' night.
So my buddy, God help him, started talking to some chick like he normally does when he's been drinking. This is the part where bro code, you go separate ways for a while, right? I just wanted to get drunk. I had a rough day. I wanted to just get smashed. So that was my goal. So 4 tequila shots on the other side later. I'm like, I'm going to go to this side because it's a little more space, believe it or not. Like, let me get a water because I'm going to have to drive my drunk self home. So I go to get a water.
I did not go to get a water.
Didn't even see her. I didn't even know she even existed at that point. Until she put that plump, old, firm, delicious behind on me. Accident or not, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Highlight of the night, let me tell you. I was just there to drink.
I literally just fell into your lap.
I mean, that's exactly how it was.
I'll never forget, though, because I bumped into you, and I am mortified because it's not like me to be sloppy, and I was sloppy. So I plow into this person behind me. Didn't know if it was a man, woman, whatever. For all I know, I'm about to get knocked out. And I turn around, and I'm like, I am so sorry. And then I saw his face, and I was like, I'm not sorry anymore. And no, I was humiliated because he was really cute. And I'll never forget that you took your hand and put it on my back. And you were like, it's okay. And I was like, yes, it is. We stood there at that spot for like 2 hours talking about literally anything you could think
I think I bought a couple more drinks after that.
I tried to buy you a drink, and you were like, "No, I'm drinking water."
Yeah, no, that's.
But
yeah.
I will buy you a drink.
Yes, that is accurate.
And that's what happened.
The conversation was real, so I was like, hey.
It was a very like innocent, like two people just getting to know each other, and the conversation was just flowing.
Weird nowadays, I know. Right?
Yeah, super weird. I'm sure that like the new generations, like you didn't meet on a dating app. Like, no, we're so old. We had to go out into the world.
And like, surrounded ourselves with people.
And hoped for the best.
Absolutely. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story.
That's how we met.
Why do men fall asleep so quickly, even in the middle of an argument?
Because we tired. Like, that's a very simple one. Like, men be tired. We
yeah,
tired.
But when women are tired, even in the midst of an argument, we're going to be up for hours.
Now, I'm going to be honest. This is after an argument, right?
Yeah.
Or in the middle of one. I don't know if I've ever fallen asleep after an argument that I can think of. I mean, you're shaking your head, yes, but I don't recall. I mean, but it probably just is as simple as that. Like, it's nothing to overthink. Like, just like you could be physically exhausted, you could be mentally exhausted too. And by the time you're done arguing with your woman or man or whoever, by the time you're done, you're like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to sleep.
But it seems like men can shut it off a lot easier than women.
Now, that part is true.
Okay.
I mean, we can kind of just shut it down and go on about our business, but it doesn't change anything in regards to, again, being exhausted after, a long 10, 15, 20-minute argument, however long it ends up being.
That's cute. 2 to 3 hour argument.
I mean, sure.
So essentially you're saying that the difference is men can separate the tiredness from the mental anguish of a fight, whereas women, it's just all rolled into one.
I mean, I guess I'm not a woman, so I can't answer that. Okay. But
That's fair.
We'll go with that. That's right.
All right, moving on to the next one. This is a good one. Why can't men find anything, even when it's right in front of them?
I don't even know. That's like one of the 9 greatest mysteries of the world, where you're just like, as a man, like you swear up and down, you're like, I know I put this here, or I know I saw this here. And then you go and look, and for some reason your brain's like, nah, we don't want you to find that. We don't. Brain's like, nah, it's cool. Yeah, I don't really have an answer to that because I suffer from that myself. So
it's like it goes into the Bermuda Triangle for men.
If there's a brain or a part of the brain that it would be considered the Bermuda Triangle, then sure. We'll go with that.
Okay, that's fair. What dating advice would you give a single millennial?
A single millennial. I would say, and I haven't been single in a while, so I don't.
A while.
So I mean, I don't know.
This might be out of date advice.
It might be, honestly. I would say have patience would be the first thing I would say, and have realistic expectations would be the other thing I would say. You ain't gonna find Mr. and Mrs. Perfect. It's just not a thing. As humans, we're prone to imperfection. And I don't even know what millennials do now. I mean, back in my day, we would go out to the club or something, or meet somebody in the grocery store or something. Now you got like a million different dating apps now.
True.
So I don't.
And we don't know the names of 90% of them.
I don't.
I know Tinder.
I know, this one's going to be funny. And this is only because I have gay friends, but I know Grindr.
Okay.
I mean, just saying.
I know Bumble's for making friends.
Bumble sounds like one of those things where you're like making friends, and I put that in quotations.
Oh, yeah. Friends, wink.
Yeah, Yeah.
Did you always want to be a dad?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm probably the weird one, more likely. And I only say that because no one ever wakes up and like, I want to be a dad. But what I would say is my family is basically ran by women.
Facts.
So
shout out to all of them.
So, the males in the family were taught how to cook, taught how to clean, change diapers, laundry, how to work as a team, all that type of stuff. I never thought about it at the time, but I realized, once I became a dad, that I utilize a lot of those skills. Not so much in terms of like the laundry part. But, I do utilize a lot of that stuff when it comes to everyday living. So, not every male is obviously raised like that. But, I'm sure there's some out there that have an idea in their head that, they want to find the perfect one and settle down and have kids. But then you got people that just would rather not have kids,
and that's fine too.
And that's perfectly okay. You know, kids are our responsibility. Just saying.
When is a good time to discuss having children?
You know, every relationship moves differently, you know, at different paces. So, you know, it really just kind of depends, right? Like if you, as a person that want to have that conversation, feel like the relationship's at a point where you think you should, at the very least, have the conversation in the thought that that other individual is at least willing to listen, right? Now, whether they agree or not, completely different thing, but that's still a part of the conversation. So I don't know if there's like a time frame I can give.
Do you think that it would be best to bring up things like children and marriage early on to find out if you guys have the same goals? Or is that like for men, like, oh my God, that's scary?
Well, it shouldn't be scary for men. I mean, unless you're like 19 or something, and that's just the furthest thing from your mind.
Right.
But, you know, as an individual, if you're going to get yourself into a relationship, in the back of your head, those are things that you probably should at least keep in mind,
right,
in terms of what the other individual might want or not want.
Yeah,
right?
Because you guys could get into it and one of you really wants children and one of you does not. Yeah. And you fall in love 3 years down the road and learn this. That's difficult.
Yeah, and not just that, but I mean, it could be, you know, at one point in your life, you're like, no, I don't want to do that. And then let's say you're still with the individual 2-3 years later, you might change your mind. So, you know, I would say having a conversation like that, you know, I don't think you have to do it like right up front, like the first like 3 weeks you're together type of a thing, you know, but I would say, you know, when you get into that point where you feel like things are progressing and you
and
see yourself in
a person,
you see yourself with that individual or can see yourself with that individual and those feelings are growing, then it may be something where before you know, take that step, you might want to have that conversation like, hey, what are you looking for relationship-wise? Is it something where marriage is a thing or kids or, you know? And men, this is not a conversation to be scared of. Just speak your truth. Either you want it or you don't. You care or you don't, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, it's fine. Like, you're not going to hurt anybody. So...
That's very interesting advice based on all of our history.
Look, you live and you learn. I'm just saying.
I love it. No, I think that's great. I think that's great because we did have, you know, a back and forth struggle for a couple years about where our relationship was going and what the future looked like for us. And I remember us having a conversation once, you know, we did get married and you had said, you know, I was scared. I was scared because I had these really strong feelings for you early on. And I thought to myself, this is it. If I go down this road, this is it. This is the woman that I'm going to end up with. And that scared you. And so I do think it's really nice to have that perspective from a man who has been through these emotions and these feelings. So I think that's really cool. Can someone remain friends with someone their partner actively dislikes?
Oh, man, that's a rough one. I guess the easiest way to answer that would be, you know, if the individual is trusted enough and comfortable enough for you to be, I guess, friends with that individual. I don't know if I'm wording that right, but I think it just comes down to respect and maturity, right? Like, let's be real. If you guys are a couple, there's going to be some people that on one side you don't like, and there's some people on the other side that you don't like, right? So it really just kind of comes down to, like I said, respect and trust. You know, do you trust your significant other to be friends with that individual, regardless of whether you like them or not? Because it's not like you got to hang out with them or anything. I mean, I would say it can happen, but it just depends on where you guys are at.
I think it's important to base it on why doesn't your partner like this specific person.
Yeah.
I think it can vary from situation to situation. To me, it's one thing, like, I just don't like that person. Like, we don't vibe. Like, you have friends that I don't vibe with. I have friends that Randy doesn't vibe with, but there's no bad blood, you know? But I think if it was a situation where there was bad blood, then it comes down to, I think, respecting your partner and having a conversation and seeing if you can come to a resolution or make a hard decision, either way.
Or, I'm going to throw this one out there, a compromise.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Word of the day.
And that was something else you and I really had to learn. And if we can pass on a piece of advice to couples other than communicate, I would say compromise is right up there, because at no point are both of you going to be 100% happy with every situation life throws at you. But because you love each other, you learn to say, okay, I can live with this if you can live with this. And if you are not willing to compromise with the person you supposedly love, maybe you need to rethink that love and that relationship.
For shizzle.
For shizzle. How much honesty is needed in a relationship? For example, does he need to know about all purchases?
I would say to that, it kind of depends. Like, if you are like a stay-at-home mom, we'll just use that as an example, right? I would think just out of respect, you would share all purchases with the individual that's providing the money, right? Just, and I'm not trying to say, like, if you go get a stick of gum, we got to know about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing.
But like major purchases.
Yeah, right? Like, I guess that's what I would say on that part. Now, if it's something where you both got jobs and you have kind of your spending money, he has his spending money, then I would say you can be a little more lax with that, at least in my opinion.
But like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and Randy makes the money, and you've never once been like, well, what are you spending my money on?
See, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I trust in the fact that if it was something where you're like, okay, I really need to get this, you would say, hey, can we get this, right? Like, right. That's, you know what I mean? That's where that communication and that trust comes in.
But I think on that, you also trust that I'm not making purchases that you would be unhappy about.
Well, yeah, but...
And I think that's, again, trust. Yeah. It really comes down to trusting each other. Yeah. Do I think you need to tell him or her every dime that you're spending? No, but I think that there is communication there, that you will have conversations that, okay, this is going to be a lot of money. I should probably talk to them about this. And trust each other that you're not hiding money or blowing money or whatever it may be. Money is like one of the number one reasons people get divorced. So I think open and honest is the way to go, but also like trust each other.
Well, and keep it in perspective too. Like, I'm not saying again that you have to nickel and dime it. Common sense will tell you what you need to, let them know and what not know.
Do men care about weddings? Lots of guys say they don't care. They just want to make the girl happy, and girls take this as they don't really care.
Well, I can only speak from my point of view, or my perspective, I guess. I was never big on weddings, mainly because, again, in my family, weddings weren't necessarily, like, pushed. Like, yeah, the expectation was to get married, but it wasn't like, well, you have to have a wedding when you get married type of thing. In me and Kristina's case, I just wanted that for her because I felt like she deserved that. Aww. I would say most men could care less about a wedding. Like, they would rather use that money toward something else in the future for them and their spouse. But it's not to say that weddings aren't important. If you can do it and it's something that you both come to a decision to do, then by all means have at it.
I remember when we first got engaged, and we had always planned to have a courthouse wedding because we wanted to get married right away. We had waited 7 or 8 years to get married, and we were like, let's just go do this. But then we wanted to have a big wedding on our 1-year anniversary. So we had started looking at venues. I had bought a dress. Randy helped me pick out wedding colors. We looked at tuxedos. We looked at rings. You were very involved in the little planning that we got done before we found out we were pregnant. But I think you were more excited about that part than you had expected to be. I think if your spouse is like, I don't care, I don't think he means he doesn't care about the wedding. I think he means whatever makes you happy. Because a lot of men feel like it's the bride's day. Am I wrong?
Pretty much. I mean, like I said, a lot of men don't, like...
They don't dream about their wedding.
Yeah, like, they would rather take that money and put it toward something else, a house. If you guys plan on having kids, right? Put it aside for the kid, stuff like that. That's kind of more of their thought, at least with me anyway.
That's like their thought process.
Yeah, their thought process is, well, why would we use money here when we can use it over here type of thing. It's definitely not to say that, because you want to get married, they don't care about you wanting to get, or, you want a wedding, they don't care about you wanting to, have a wedding or anything like that. They just want to do basically what they feel is best, obviously for you, first and foremost, but for the future as well.
Do you have to be madly in love to have a successful relationship? I don't really understand this question.
I mean, what I would say is in love is in love. I don't know if there's like levels. I mean, I guess there is. The more you're in love with a person, the more you're going to be willing to do for that individual. I guess an easy answer to that would be sure. When you're all about an individual, the only thing that you normally think about throughout the day is how can I make life easy for that individual, right? So I guess if you're, some higher level than in love that I don't know of, then yeah, I would say yes.
I think it goes back to a conversation that we had in a previous podcast that love is not the be-all, end-all of a successful relationship. Do you need to be in love? Absolutely.
Well, you should anyway. But yeah.
It's highly recommended. 10 out of 10.
10. I mean, I would recommend for sure.
But I think it's so much more than that. It is communication. It is respect. It is trust. You cannot have a successful relationship without all of these parts.
What I would say, probably the easiest way to think about a relationship, at least in my opinion, would be almost, this is going to sound ridiculous, but follow me here.
Okay.
Almost like a video game, right? You get a certain weapon that you're trying to learn. Relationships are easy to learn in terms of what to do and how to do, but they're hard to master to continuously do those things. So maybe if that helps.
That was a super nerdy way to explain it.
Hey, but it works.
It worked. It worked.
Look, there's probably plenty of nerds out there that are trying to get in relationships and trying to figure out how to maintain them. I'm just representing, all right?
Is there something new you would like to learn together?
Kung Fu. No, I'm kidding.
Could you imagine?
Nope.
We have talked about learning, taking dance classes, like salsa, tango.
That was something that we did talk about.
Yeah, maybe once, this pandemic finally goes away. So yeah, I would say that ballroom dancing is kind of on our list of things that we want to do.
Learn the salsa.
Hey, add a little spicy spice.
Yeah,
little spice. Okay, how do you know you have found the one?
Man, I feel like this is like I feel like everybody asks this question.
That's a deep one.
I mean, I don't know. I knew when the only thing that I could think about was how can I get this woman to join the team?
Aww.
Now, that seems pretty simple at its core, but as I stated in the earlier question, when you are at that point with an individual, again, your thought process is how can I make this individual not and I say happy, but more of how do I make their life better is probably the best way to say it. That's when I knew, but like I said, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have a different view of what love is or what being in love is. When I knew that I was going to do whatever I could to make sure that she got what she wanted and just she was happy and that, she was improving, all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's what I knew. What do you mean? You know what I mean? See how she do me? You see how she do me?
I'm just playing. No.
Improving. Well, everybody should be trying to do better in life.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm going to hit her with this bottle.
I think for me, it was I could not see my future without him. Anytime, we were going through anything and things that I thought were deal breakers or we couldn't come back from this, I was never able to picture my future without him. And that was the first time that had ever happened for me. I had been in a couple of serious relationships previously. And when it was over, bye. I didn't mourn, those relationships. I took them for what they were. And I knew that there was something else out there. But with Randy, that never happened when we were going through all of the things that we've been through. And we have been through some things. I don't think people really realize how much we've gone through in 12 years together. But there were hard times. There were hard moments. There were moments where we weren't sure, if we could move forward or how we were going to move forward. But my heart always knew that that was my person. This is a nice one to end it on. Okay. What is a perfect day for you as a couple?
Well, neither one of the kids waking us up. Just
Bingo.
saying. Just gonna.
I do. We talk about this all the time, but we really miss our Saturday morning snuggles. Before we had our daughter and when Jaden was a little bit older that he could get up and get his own breakfast, you and I used to wake up on Saturday mornings and just cuddle and talk and laugh. We got to sleep in and then we would lay in bed for, I don't know, an hour or two.
Now, just for the gentlemen out there, we do have clothes on for that. It's just...
That's not true.
Why would you?
I sleep naked. I'm sorry. You're welcome. Everybody knows
You had
it.
pants on last night, though. Yeah, so...
Anyway, for the most part, I sleep naked, so... I get hot. I'm a hot individual.
You are. Yes. So perfect day is the kids not waking us up.
Amen.
To start with. And, we typically get up fairly early anyway, unless we have our one sleep-in day.
We each get a sleep-in day.
I do suggest as a couple, you each have a sleep-in day.
Yep.
Kids or no kids, sleep-in day.
And by that, we mean we take turns. So both of us get up every day during the week. School, work. I got to get the kids off to school. I got to be a mom. Rainey has to go to work. But on the weekends, he sleeps in Friday morning. I sleep in Saturday morning. And I don't know what we would do without our sleep days.
I don't either.
That's part of our teamwork.
Yeah. Like our best days are when we're just kind of posted and chilling and just kind of enjoying each other and obviously the kids.
We went on a date, what was it? Right before Christmas?
Was that when we went to Johnny's?
Yeah, we went to Johnny's and we came home and I think we were going to watch a movie and both of us were like, that's a 3-hour movie. And
we just sat in bed and just talked.
Laughed. We laughed for like 3 hours in bed about absolutely nothing. When we say marry your best friend, that's what we mean. When you can sit and do absolutely nothing.
And I'm going to tell you now, it's those type of conversations or dates or whatnot that leave memories. Like don't take those for granted because you never, especially when you have kids and both of you are working and stuff like that, you really don't get a lot of time to just kind of enjoy each other like when you first started dating, right?
100%.
So you really gotta enjoy those moments. Enjoy the little moments, the little things.
And they are few and far between.
They really are.
We are busy and we have a lot going on, as all of you do. But literally being cheap and laying in bed. And I think I was laughing so hard I was crying. And we've always kind of been like that. It's the worst pillow talk on the planet because we're basically just being idiots together.
True.
That's our idea of foreplay, is like talking shit.
Yeah. I can't.
Making fun of each other.
That's typically what it is.
Yeah.
You can't make it up.
Can't make it up.
But in all seriousness, enjoy each other because you only live once, and enjoying those moments and really relishing in those moments will certainly do wonders for the relationship.
Amen.
12 years in will teach you that.
Yeah, for sure. Because after 12 years, wow, you'd think you'd be sick of the person.
I mean, hey, there's people that have been married for like 50, 60 years. I'm just saying.
I think if anybody can do it, babe, it's us.
I hope so. I mean, look, #goals. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you so much for all of your questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my wonderful co-host.
I do what I can. And hey, if you guys got more questions, I don't know if they're going to do another Q&A, but, hey.
We can. If you guys got more questions, send them our way. We could make this a series of...
I mean, we could menage this. I'm just saying. we could three-way this, man.
That's the only three-way this man is ever going to get.
And that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right, guys, take care, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Peace.